Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today, we're going to grab some fresh asparagus, truly one of the most exciting vegetables at the supermarket, especially when they're in season like right now, as they're full of flavor, and create a super delicious recipe. We're talking crispy garlic asparagus. And let me tell you, this is not your typical asparagus dish. This is the next level, as it's filled with so many amazing textures and flavors. The recipe is easy to make, and the best part, it's all done in about 30 minutes. Folks, serve these asparagus as a tapas appetizer, or even as a side dish, next to some pan-grilled fish and roasted potatoes. Either way, it's the kind of food that with each bite is going to fill you with so much goodness. All right, let's just jump right into this. I'm going to fill a stock pot with some water. You want to go to about the halfway point. Then we'll season generously with sea salt and heat it with a high heat. In the meantime, let's start prepping the asparagus. For this recipe, I'm using large asparagus, but you can also use the thinner ones. Just make sure to cook them less. That way they don't end up with a mushy texture. I'm going to start by trimming off the tough ends from the asparagus. And then we'll add the asparagus into a colander and rinse them under some water. Then we'll move back to the stock pot. Once the water comes to a boil, we'll gently add the asparagus. And we're going to go for 2 minutes here until the asparagus are just tender. If you're using thinner ones, go for about 1 minute. Either way, and like I told you before, you don't want to overcook them, otherwise they're going to end up with a mushy texture. Once the asparagus are just tender, once again just 2 minutes in my case, we'll remove the stock pot from the heat. And we'll transfer the asparagus into a bowl with some iced water. This is not only going to stop them from cooking, but it's also going to ensure that they keep their beautiful vibrant green color. After about 1 minute and the asparagus are cool enough to handle, we'll add them over a dishcloth and pat them completely dry. For the next step, I'm going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour into a shallow bowl, which is 120 grams. We'll also crack in 2 eggs into a separate shallow bowl. Season with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And whisk the eggs. And finally, we'll add in 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs into a third separate bowl, which is about 60 grams. We'll also add in 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, which is 3 grams. A 1/4 cup of grated cheese, which is 30 grams. I'm using a Spanish manchego, but you can use any cheese you like. And season with a kiss of sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix the breadcrumbs together. Now before we start braiding the asparagus, let's start heating the oil. I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat. And add in 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 120 milliliters. Of course, you can use any oil you like here. It's just extra virgin is what's typically used in Spain, as it gives dishes like this a beautiful lift of flavors. Leave where you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. While the oil is heating, let's start braiding the asparagus. First we'll start in the flour, then into the egg wash, and finally into the breadcrumbs. You want to make sure at each stage that they're fully coated all around. Once all the asparagus have been breaded, let's move back to the fry pan. Once the oil is nice and hot, we'll add in the asparagus. You want to make sure they're on a single layer and evenly spaced out, so cook this in batches to not overcrowd the pan. And we're going to go for about 2 minutes per side here until they're golden and crispy. And as you finish each batch, transfer the asparagus into a dish with paper towels. And once again, make sure they're on a single layer. Once all the asparagus have been fried up, let's make a simple dipping sauce that truly complements this dish. I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic I roughly chopped into a mortar, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is about 0.17 grams. Leave where you get the Spanish golden saffron I'm using in the description box below. And a pinch of sea salt. And using a pestle, we'll pound down on the garlic until it's well mashed. You can also use a food processor here, hand blender, or even a NutriBullet. Then we'll add in 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt, which is 120 grams. I'm using full fat, but you can use any kind you like. Squeeze in 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice, which is 10 milliliters. And drizzle in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. Then we'll season with sea salt and a generous portion of freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a whisk until we end up with a beautiful creamy sauce. Then we'll add the dipping sauce into a serving dish and decorate the asparagus around it. And check it out, folks, our crispy garlic asparagus are done. Easy to make, restaurant quality presentation, and all done in about 30 minutes. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Once again, folks, crispy garlic asparagus, you gotta admit, this came out looking super beautiful. Here we go. You gotta finish this. Come on. This one. That texture says it all. You have that crispiness in the outside. The inside of the asparagus is beautifully cooked. And that yogurt sauce rounds out for the perfect balance. Easy to make, give it a try at home. Once again, as a tapas appetizer, even as a side dish, you is the kind of food that with each bite is gonna fill you with so much goodness. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Tamara Peace and Michael L. Kent. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.